Not Nerd Podcast, Episode 303, Hey Soul Sensor.
Welcome to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. We've got plenty to talk about today, and here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
The Not Nerd Podcast with Nate and Dave.
Oh, we need to unearth that one too. The lyrics that we put to our theme song.
Yeah, I bet you guys listening did not know, or many of you did not know, that we have lyrics to the theme song, and we've even sung a version of it, and it's mighty, mighty fine. Anyway, hello and good day to you, sir. It is good to see your wonderful face and your diligent mustache.
Oh,
that's the name of a band, by the way. Yes, diligent Mustache.
Diligent Mustache.
I can't even say it. Mustache.
Yes.
I mustache you a question.
Doing well today, and I mustache follow up.
Yeah, good. Getting right into it. It's a wonderful segue.
Best segue of the year. Well, in follow-up, I did want to thank you quickly for your pick of the week a month or two ago, the LV Electronics Recycling. For those of you located in the 12th and Sherwood area of Oregon.
All four of you listening right now. Yeah.
Yes. I made my first visit. I had loaded stuff in my car and then had to take it out for a trip we took and then put it back in. And I went down there, met one of the workers there. It is an impressive operation they have. I kind of got a peek into their warehouse, and they will just literally take any electronics and then they work to fix them up and they resell stuff. So it's, for my business, it's a good resource if I get in a pinch and just need a cheap computer for something, or a monitor or keyboard or mouse or any of that stuff. They've got a good resource. So I, like we said before, my fingers are crossed that their business model is sustainable. And I hope for those of you not in this area that you have something similar. I pile up a lot of old computers when I replace them for people, and most people have one or two sitting around, or an old printer or something, and they will take it. They will certify destruction of data on your hard drive. They will try to refurbish it, and if they can't use it, they will safely recycle it. Or ethically recycle it, whatever they do. Good stuff.
It seems almost too good to be true, because it's like, really, you're not going to charge me any money to take this garbage away from me? And they're like, yeah, well, if it's an electronic and we can recycle it, then, or we can resell it, give it to us. And it's like, okay, well, I have a lot of stuff. That's okay. Okay.
Next time I might ask if I can tip them for taking stuff, because I've got a lot more in my garage that I need to get down there. But just want to give you a thank you again for that one.
Well, what I'd like to do, and it doesn't help me that much, is when I take stuff there, let's say I take 10 items there, can I take 5 items home that I find in your warehouse?
Do a trade?
Yeah, a trade down type thing.
And I was the guy that I talked to, he was saying, if you ever want to look at doing bulk buying, they will do some of that kind of stuff. So they might say, hey, if you bring me in enough good stuff, you can take something, they had like some $100 iMacs and stuff, some really old iMacs in there that I could see you wanting one for a project that you'll never get to.
Right. I've got many of those on my desk back here.
Yes, and instead of old technology, we'll talk about some new technology. Here in my hot little hand, I have an iPhone 13 Pro, and actually I have in my hand 2 iPhone 13 Pros, and then I've got another one downstairs because of my ordering issues.
Yeah, no, you're just trying to flex on everybody. You're like, these 2 other iPhones are the case for my main iPhone. I just kind of rubber band them on the outside.
One is just my camera remote for my main iPhone, and the other one is just to use Find My to find my other iPhone, to find my other iPhone. But it was a crazy thing, and I ended up I had a great experience picking up my 2 of the phones at the Apple store. I had an 8:30 appointment and then an 8:45 appointment for my actual real order for the upgrade program. But there was only about 5 people waiting there. Got right in. I think I had both phones and was out of there by 8:30. So It was a smooth process. And then the one that was shipped, and this is why I don't do that, showed up at about 7:17 p.m. on Friday, which I would have been very frustrated waiting all day for that to show up. So,
But you could have waited all day for it, and then you wouldn't have to have left your house.
Yes,
you could have just stayed there and watched the cartoons all day long. So,
well, that's true.
I know it's a very specific example. I don't know who would do that.
Yes. Well, and the reason why I brought that up, I'm loving it so far. The battery life is unbelievable. I got up about 9 a.m. yesterday on Saturday. I charged it a couple times real quickly in my car. We did some short drives, but I DJ'd last night, and it lasted me all night till 2:30 in the morning. So that's 9 to 2, 3, 5. So I got like 17 hours out of my charge. It was low by the end of that point, but I have not previously had a phone that and I used my phone a lot yesterday. I was very lazy and sat in my chair and was scrolling through all the things and playing games and listening to podcasts and doing all that stuff. So the battery life is amazing. The cameras, of course, are good. I haven't gotten a good chance to test out the low light stuff, which is what should really be improved on these. But as always, it's a great phone.
Yeah.
Best iPhone ever.
And last year's was nothing to sneeze at.
No.
Which I'm still using. And it's great. Oh, and let's talk quickly about the photos that you sent me. You had an iPhone 12 Pro Max, 13 Pro Max, and an iPhone SE.
Yeah, just the 13 Pro because I didn't get the Max this year. But
okay,
yes,
so it's
my old
the 13
12 Pro Max, the 13, and my daughter's iPhone SE, which is 5 or 6 years old now.
Now, is this the small SE or the SE2 that looks like an iPhone?
It's the
8?
Small SE.
Okay,
it's
so
the newest of the old small ones.
So it's a really old one then. Anyway, you'd sent me these photos, and I was looking for them, and my lovely wife and I were out to lunch, and I said, can you take a look at these and tell me which one you think is from the new camera and the old camera and the medium camera? And she guessed something. I guessed an order. Both of us were completely wrong. And honestly, I picked the iPhone SE as the best picture of the picture you took.
Which is crazy. Yes, I was out at, I do a lot of work at a local winery, and I'd taken my daughter out there, and I just took some pictures. So it was perfect lighting, daytime lighting out into the vineyards and the hills. So kind of a wide, just huge scenic shot. But yeah, I was surprised how good the SE was. But like you commented in the text message chain we had going, the low light is where or close up stuff, portrait type stuff. You're going to
try that at 7 p.m. at night, and let's see how well the sensors turn out. But this is not a detriment to the 12 Pro Max or the 13's cameras. It's a testament to how well the iPhone SE's camera is, or how good it is, that it can compete with modern iPhones. So anyway, I was impressed.
And I do currently, I hadn't opened them up on my 27-inch 4K monitor here.
Humble brag.
And I have all three of them next to each other, and you can see some differences, but the one with the SE definitely would get you by for a Facebook post.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with how much they degrade the quality on there. But yeah, the 12 Max and the 13 Pro, I mean, there are some subtle differences, but it's not a whole lot. But I will be doing more testing and report back. But what reminded me to talk about all this is just a little piece that nobody will care about besides possibly me, that the 13 Pros, or the iPhones 13, all of them, they now support dual eSIM. So my phone actually came programmed for the T-Mobile eSIM because they knew I was a T-Mobile customer, knew my number. So it had all that programmed in there electronically for my eSIM. And then if I wanted to add my second Google Fi line in eSIM, I could do that virtually too. So it seems like SIM cards are going the way of the dodo bird, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but it doesn't really affect me.
Well, not to keep talking about bands, it sounds like another new age heavy metal band, dual eSIM.
Yes.
I mean, what the heck did you just say? But I think the point is you don't have to put SIM cards in your phones anymore. You just do it through the carrier electronically, and your phone will work. So that's nice. Unfortunately, you still have to pay for their service.
Yes. Haven't gotten away from that yet. Not free SIM.
Yeah.
Yes. we've talked a lot about Amazon, and we don't really like them because of the affiliate program fiasco that they kicked us off. But just trying to find good products on there, know what's good, know what's bad, and Fake Spot and some of the different services we've talked about. Well, it was released that Amazon closes 3,000 China brand stores in campaign against fake reviews.
Okay.
So they have they kicked off an extensive cleanup campaign in May targeting consumer review abuses on its platform. So we've talked about this before, Amazon people, and I've actually been somewhat involved in this practice a couple times trying it out, but they will either send you a free product or give you a little money to write a good review after you purchase a product. And they don't tell you that on Amazon. They try to work around it. But Amazon is trying to figure out how they can just have a better experience and get a more accurate review count on these different products.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. New products cannot rise to the top of the list unless they have reviews, and you can't get reviews, or you can't get people to buy stuff unless you have reviews. And so there's this kind of seedy underbelly of fake reviews or paid reviews and all this stuff, but it sounds like Amazon's trying to cut down on that stuff.
Yes, and you might wonder, well, why is this article so focused on the Chinese, online stores being closed down through Amazon? Well, this article comes from the South China Morning Post.
Yeah.
So take that for what you will.
Yeah.
But
it's
Amazon
relevant to
is
that publication.
Yeah. Yes, Amazon is definitely trying to provide a better experience and probably not have so many returns. When you get something that was 5 stars on 1,000 reviews and you get it and it's just a piece of junk. So
right.
Hopefully it'll be a better experience. And if you've been listening to the podcast for quite a while, it's probably a couple years ago, we talked about Locast. And Locast was a nonprofit company where you could subscribe in certain cities to over-the-air TV service. So They had, I think this was like the other one, I forget what it was called, where they had a bunch of little antennas.
Aereo was the name of that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
good call. And they rebroadcast it to you for a fee. I think it was like $10 a month or something. But very helpful for people that want to get their local stuff. And it looks like they did have Portland, but sadly, last night, Locast announced that they will be suspending immediately all programming interruptions to request donations. It was $5.50 a monthly donation. Or it would get cut out every 15 minutes is how they had it set up. But they are embattled in a legal pile of broadcast television stations not wanting them to be able to do this, which again, I don't understand why. I could get an antenna and then I get it for free, but...
Right. It's just another case of big media trying to pick on the little guys so that they can have 100% control of the stack, even though it's really not fair. It's an anti-competition move, and I'm not in agreement with what's happening there. I think that Aereo and all these other ones should be allowed to do what they're doing because just like you said, they're receiving a free over-the-air broadcast and retransmitting it to customers. And oftentimes it's to customers who cannot get it any other way because the big broadcasters aren't providing service in their area.
Yes. Yeah. And it looks like part of their legal issue at this time, besides ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC wanting to come after them, is they're a nonprofit, but they had more revenue than operational expenses. But they said that difference was because they were trying to expand to more markets, which makes perfect sense to me. But the legal world is always a mess.
That is true.
But not a mess is Dave's Pro Tip of the Week.
Man, your segues are on fleek this week, my friend.
On fleek.
On
Indeed.
fleek. So the pro tip of the week, we kind of debated about what to talk about today, but this is a tip that's kind of an oldie but a goodie, and we've talked about it in various iterations in the past, and we've even have talked about a couple applications that can accomplish this very thing. And you're using your iPhone and you're wanting to take a screenshot of a web page, but it's like, well, the iPhone screen is relatively small compared to a computer, and maybe only a portion of the screen makes it into your screenshot. And then you're like, well, I got to scroll down and do another. And Taylor was an app that we talked about in the past that can do this, and a couple others. they stitch screenshots together, but there is a much, much simpler way. And that's what Dave's pro tips of the week are mainly making your life simpler. So if you were running iOS 14 and or 15, the brand new one that came out, I don't think this was in 13. If that's the case, you need to upgrade,
Yes.
You got to support Apple's children and friends and family. Regardless, go into a website. I'm on apple.com at the moment. Intuitively, you would think, well, I want to use the share sheet, and there should be a thing in there that says, make this website into a PDF. Oh, wait, maybe it's under the print thing. I need a print to a PDF like on my computer. No. That would be much too simple. And so the convoluted way you have to do it is to take a screenshot. On an older device, you press the power button or sleep wake button, on the very top, and then your home button at the bottom to take a screenshot. On the buttonless face phones, you need to push the volume up rocker and your sleep wake button, which are opposite each other on the sides. And yes, mini rant, I press it all the time because they're stupidly positioned. But that's not what this tip's about. So take a screenshot any way that you can. Boom, I took a screenshot. Now, it made a little thumbnail at the bottom of the screen, and I'm going to tap on it, and you kind of got to be a little swift because after about 10 seconds, it'll disappear. But while it's in its little snapshot state, tap on it, it will bring up and fill the entire screen. And we've been here before. We've talked about how you can use the markup tools to circle something. We've used Tyler's fancy tip of circling something and then holding it, and it snaps into like a perfect circle or a perfect line or a perfect box or ellipse. But that's not what we're doing today. We're talking about making a PDF of the entire web page. Well, you may notice, and I miss this all the time, at the very top, there are two tabs. One says screen, and it's typically highlighted. The other one says full page. Well, what does full page do? I tap over there, and boom, the entire top to bottom length of the website is available for me to scroll down through, up and down on my iPhone, clear top to bottom. Now that I have the quote full screen, the entirety of that one web page, I can use my share sheet and save it to my files. And when I do, it's going to save that page as a PDF to my files. You can also save it to other locations, or you can open it in various applications, or you can attach it to an email and send it. In all these options, it's going to create a PDF for you. A miniature review. Go to Safari, go to the website that you want. Then you're going to do a screenshot. At the top of the page, choose Full Page tab, and then you're going to share what you see to your files. And you've got a bona fide PDF of that entire web page. Nate, tell me why you would ever use this feature. Now that I've wasted my time telling you about it.
Well, in my world, working on web pages and creating web pages and talking to people about web pages be very helpful to be able to send a preview, or if there was something, or if there was a full article that you wanted to save or something like that, or just get the whole thing. It's very helpful. It's just something great to have in your toolbox. And I forget about doing this. I haven't had to do it much, but it is a great reminder that you have that option to create a PDF of the full web page, so you can record everything that is there and have it stocked away in your digital hoarding, in my case.
After you do this, if you choose not to save it to files or share it or whatever, when you click done, it will prompt you, hey, do you want to delete this screenshot, or do you want to save it to files? If you're in a hurry, you can do the screenshot, click done, and then click the save the files there.
Yeah.
But, on a small screen, it's going to kind of give you the mobile version of the website, which in today's climate is one of the most important views of your website is the mobile version. So maybe you're a marketing person, or you're doing a website for a friend or a church or something like that, and they want to see what the mobile version looks like. Well, you can just do a screenshot, print out a long PDF and email the guy and say, this is what I've got working on so far. So it's kind of a niche thing, but man, I have tried to do the stitching together screenshots before, and I'm just like, this is the dumbest thing. There has to be a better way. Well, this is the better way.
That is the better way. Thank you for that. Well, let's move on to our takes of the week. Apple had their iPhone event, and to follow that up, Microsoft announced some stuff, some other companies, but first we'll look at the Microsoft. So they had their Surface event and released some new products. Now, I watched part of the actual presentation. They did a video where they're trying to be like Apple and just can't quite do it, but they have a new Surface Pro 8, which is kind of their standard, Surface, what you think of as the Surface. They have the Surface Pro X, which is a little bit higher model. They have the Surface Go 3, the Surface Duo 2, the Surface Laptop Studio, the Surface Pro 7, and then don't forget about the Microsoft Ocean Plastic Mouse.
Microsoft marketing. We know it's made of plastic. Don't say plastic mouse. It makes it seem so cheap.
Yes. Yeah, so that is out of recycled ocean plastic, they tell you, for their part with the environment. But
so it's part of their marketing term. I can see it now. Thank you for clarifying that, because I'm just like, come on, boys. This is not cool.
Yes, but probably the most interesting is the Surface Duo 2.
Of course, my ears perked up when you came across that.
Yes, which is their latest folding device, kind of like a folding tablet. It's much larger than some of the folding phones that we've seen. It's got an actual true hinge, so you have two screens, but of course they're supposed to work seamless together. It's got some nice cameras, but it does start at $1,500.
Yikes. Now, this is essentially two iPads with a hinge in between them that you open and close like a book. And so I think this is the correct way to do a multi-screen device, not these foldable ones that have this weird. I mean, those are going to get better, but this just seems like the obvious thing to do. You could always narrow the distance between the two screens, so that they're practically touching. But they work together as one screen, and you can flip the hinge and do it like a little keyboard. Like, we've seen this before on other folding devices, but I've always been attracted to the Surface Duo. Hopefully this version 2 will be getting better. They've got a really large camera array on the back, and so the question that people are going to have is, who is this product for? I have my big phone with a big camera array, and I have a big tablet or even a Surface tablet. Why do I need this? If it were just half of it, I can see people saying, well, it's my mini tablet.
Yeah.
But having the big one, it's kind of like, I don't know. If you've got a phone, it doesn't seem very practical. That's what I'm saying.
I guess I am looking at the tech specs. Each screen is a 5.8-inch screen, so that's about the same as the...
It's like an 11-inch
Pro.
Oh,
and
really?
then it goes to, for each screen, and then the full is 8.3 inches diagonal. So that's still smaller than an iPad when you have them side by side, and about the size of an iPhone. So it is kind of this weird. So you could get away with it being a phone, but again, especially at $1,500. I just don't know who this is for.
My iPhone 13 Pro Max cost, I think, $1,100, and you can configure it up to like $1,400 with maximum storage. So if you're going to max out your phone, you might want to do something like this. But
if you really love Microsoft.
Yeah. At the end of the day, my point is I would love to have a dual screen tablet device that opens like a book, just like the Surface Duo 2.
Yes.
I'm not a fan that it's running Android. I wish they still used their Microsoft Windows mobile operating system. The jury's still out on the hardware. The hardware could be amazing for all I know. I've only touched one before. But I do recall, now that you've reminded me, that when it's folded up, it is kind of small. It's not that big of a device folded up.
Yeah, so it's kind of a weird place, but it is fun to see progress in that. And then, of course,
keep making more of this stuff.
Yes. With all the other Surface stuff, they've got the Surface Pro 8. Then I also see and I think I read it off, but I didn't realize the Surface Pro 7 Plus. They've got a lot of products. They're going all in on the Surface. They are great products. They're versatile. They work for a lot of people, but I really don't know how many people are buying these. Definitely nothing compared to like iPads, but
yeah, thanks for the reminder on that. I actually have seen quite a few Surface tablets out in the wild at various events and things. I was down at the clinic the other day and I saw a couple people using them, and one of the persons asked me, so, you do tech stuff, what would you recommend if I wanted to upgrade? Now, this was a person on a Chromebook that I'm talking to.
Oh, yes.
In the midst of other people who had Macintoshes and Surfaces and stuff like that. And I said, well, perhaps you should just, I think you should just get a Mac. They come at $999 for the entry-level laptop. She says, oh, no, that's way too much. And I said, well, they have a 0% interest financing plan. No, don't want to do that. I'm like, well, my second recommendation would be a Microsoft Surface tablet, but you're not going to be saving any money there.
No.
So I said, I don't know, go spend a few $100s on an HP laptop. But what I should have really said is just get the entry-level iPad for $329. Get a keyboard case for it if you have to have a keyboard, and move on with your life. But my point here is I personally would use a Surface tablet. I think they're cool. I think the hardware is good. Windows 10 is not that bad. I prefer Mac, but if I'm going to buy a Windows product, I'm buying a Surface. That's what I'm doing.
And I am looking at the Surface Pro 8, which starts at $1,100. $1,999.99.
Okay, yeah, it's important that you
get
gave
that
us all
every
the info.
penny on there.
Yeah.
And I do see that they are coming preloaded with Windows 11, which I will take a quick sidestep. I don't know how much we've talked about Windows 11, but it is coming out very soon, and I don't think it's anything anybody needs to worry about for now. Just stick with Windows 10. There's some changes, but it's frustrating because I have a lot of clients going, do we have to upgrade to Windows 11 now? And I said, no, I think they're going to support Windows 10 for like at least the next 3 years. And if we know Microsoft, it'll be much longer than that, because that's how things go. But I'm a little frustrated just because they told us just a few years ago, it'll be Windows 10 forever.
That's what I thought. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, that's what they said. And now they say, oh, that was taken out of context. And so now they're going to Windows 11. But for you, the average user, do not worry about Windows 11 anytime soon. I'll let you know. I'll probably try to find a machine that I can load it on, but it does have to be a pretty new machine. But yeah, so the Surface Pro 8 starts at $1,100, and I don't know if that even includes the keyboard. Yeah, you're getting pretty expensive pretty quick on those, but they are very nice devices. Type cover.
Just get a Mac.
Yeah, so another almost $300 for the keyboard. So you're at $1,400 to start. So yeah, go get a MacBook Air and pay a little more at the beginning to have something that's going to last you a lot longer than that $300 Best Buy HP laptop.
But Nate, I need Excel. One, you don't need Excel.
No.
Two, Excel runs on Macs. So
yes,
I'm tired of your
on
excuses.
just about everything.
Just go get a Mac. But anyway, we could sell Macintoshes all day long, and we get zero money from doing
You're
that.
welcome, Tim Cook.
Yeah, you're welcome. So what do we got next?
You'll be
something. Probably something I'd love to talk about here.
Yes, you will be excited to know that Facebook introduced a couple new portal devices. So these are kind of like the Amazon Echo Shows or whatever, where you have the built-in screen and the camera, and they sit on it. So basically, it's a tablet. They do have the Portal Go, which is one that has a battery in it, so you can actually carry it around. It doesn't have to be plugged into the wall. These are basically lazy tablets because they make them big and clunky so they can fit a lot of stuff in there and not do the engineering that Apple does, and not all of the features as well.
Yeah, and they're aptly named the Facebook Portal because they basically are a portal to hell. They are just a chasm that opens and plugs you straight into demons and all that stuff. So,
and Mark Zuckerberg can see everything you do on it.
Yes, he can see your soul
house.
In your soul.
Yes, the new soul sensor that they have built in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, these, and I think I didn't put a link in the show notes, but I think Amazon did some new devices as well. It is hard to keep up with what they do. They do so many things, and I don't really recommend their tablet type stuff. Some of their Alexa stuff's okay, and I know you use some of that, but I can't keep up with all the products that Amazon announces.
Well, none of it is fantastic. It's just affordable. Is the thing.
Yes.
So if you need affordable, Amazon's great. If you want quality, Apple. If you want your soul sucked out into a portal to hell, get the Facebook stuff.
Perfect. The exact breakdown of the three different products there, or multiple different products. One thing I did see that coming in iOS 15.1, so we just got 15.0 last week for our phones, that they are going to add support in the wallet, and I think you found this link and I saw it elsewhere, for storing your COVID vaccination cards in the wallet app on your phone. So you'd be able to just keep it there, like you can do rewards cards or credit cards, all of that stuff all lives in your wallet. So I think that's much easier to keep everything in there. And I think they're doing something to make sure that it's certified of some way.
No matter what your stance is on the whole thing, you have to admit, having a digital version of anything in your phone to carry around is much more convenient.
Yes. Well said, since we are the most nonpartisan tech podcast on the internet. Yes. Well, let's quickly move on to our security and privacy story. This is a very interesting thing. So you might remember the REvil ransomware that was going around and locked everybody up, the Russia-based criminal gang. It was back in July that this happened. Well, it's come out now in Schneier on Security, which is one of the best security blogs out there. The Washington Post reports that the FBI had a decryption key for the REvil ransomware, but didn't pass it along to victims because it would have disrupted an ongoing operation. So it's a very, even Schneier says at the end of his little post here, fighting ransomware is filled with security trade-offs. This is one I had not previously considered. So they had a decryption key that would have saved companies and schools and hospitals and all these places millions of dollars in trying to get back up and running. But if they would have released that, it would have tipped off the ransomware gang that they had some access into their system while they're trying to bust them, so they held on to it. So it's not as simple as how dare they not release this, but at the same time, man, if I was one of those companies that was hit by this and found out that the FBI did have the decryption key and I had to go through all the struggle of getting everything fixed for, to get things up and going.
I wouldn't be upset as well, but I'm sure it was a struggle internally for them to decide what the proper course of action was. And I'm not a fan of the FBI, but I can see the struggle as well. So, but I would be very ticked. Very ticked. Strong words. Fingers pointed.
Yes. I would write a letter on letterhead.
Yes. That's how angry I am.
Well, let's move on to our bonus odd take of the week to calm down your anger. This is another fascinating website that I found on TikTok. Don't forget to follow us at Not Nerd Pod on TikTok. It's a website called playphrase.me, and you go there and you type in any phrase and it will pull up all the movies in its archive that has that phrase in it. So I typed in one of our favorites, vulnerable.
Where do I put the phrase?
Down at the very bottom.
Okay. Thank you.
So it found instantly,
young man.
121. I'm going to pause all these vulnerables being, and much thank you. The note to friend of the show, Todd. Could you please send me your vulnerable sounder that you use on the Mark and Toddcast often? Back when I could not pronounce the word vulnerable, he, much to his dismay, he has not been able to add to that sounder, but it's several of the versions of me having a tough time saying it. But what a cool website. If you had a phrase that you wanted to find some movie clips, now they will give you the first 5 for free.
Oh, I blew them all on typing.
Well, I think on each search.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And how they have it set up is with Patreon, who Not Nerd and the Mark and Toddcast are both on, I believe, or maybe they're Portland at the Movies. But anyways, for $3 a month, if you support him on Patreon, he's got it tied into the website where you'll get full access. So it found 121 different instances of vulnerable in their database, but just a really cool thing to find phrases. And if you have a catchphrase or want to see how different things have been used throughout moviedom, this is pretty cool.
Some of the words that I'm typing in, I thought there might be more from some of the movies I hear, some of the vulgar phrases.
Oh.
It seems like maybe there should be more movies that say this.
Maybe they don't have those indexed. They do have almost 2 million phrases indexed.
I do see one that's a common 4-letter word that you might hear, I don't know, at a construction site if someone hits their toe with a hammer or something like that.
Shucks is not a 4-letter word.
What's a different one you're thinking of? But it's
darn.
Yeah, that's got to be it. 16,625.
Wow.
So that's a lot of
those. No, but it's very cool. It's fun, and how fast this site works
it's immediate.
Pretty impressive.
Now, I don't know if you mentioned to our listeners at home, it brings up the clip. And you can watch it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not telling you where it is. It immediately brings up the clip. And so I'm going to do an experiment here, and it's I'm going to type in Back to the Future. It came right up. It's Doc Brown in his yellow future suit, and Marty is asking him, "Where you going, Doc?" He goes, "Where? Back to the Future." I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. It is. I don't know how they do it, but it is really cool. And so, check that out, playphrase.me. And it looks like they do have an app and Google Play available as well. But I think I'm just for the heck of it, I'm going to give this guy $3 a month to be able to do this because it's fun to play with. And I need to dig into it some more and just endlessly watch short clips of different phrases from movies.
That is amazing.
Yes. And you know what else is amazing? Our picks of the week.
Now, I did have one pick of the week. I'm going to kind of put that off till later. And it's a good thing because I'm always struggling to find picks of the weeks. So I will have one next time. But I almost forgot, Nate, and I don't even think I've shared this information with you. It's going to be a surprise on this podcast.
Ooh, do tell.
Well, we know that last week Apple announced the iPhone Series 7. And who knows when it's going to be available? It's available later this year. So all those people who are going to buy the Series 7, which I got to be honest, is really not that impressive. It's kind of like the 6 with a few changes.
Faster charging and a little bit different screen that's maybe a little bit stronger.
Yeah, maybe it's a little brighter, or who knows? Yeah. But much like the iPhone 12 to 13, there's just some subtle changes. It's still better. Yes. But just subtle. So I got online and I'm looking for Apple Watch Series 6. I'm thinking someone's going to be selling their Series 6 to buy the Series 7. I want to check it out. There were a few, and it was kind of expensive. I know that you have a Series 4 that you would gladly sell to me at a very, very discounted price.
Yes.
And I keep thinking, well, do I want a Series 4? Because I have a Series 3, and is it that much better? It doesn't have the always on display.
Yes.
And so I'm like, the Apple Watch Series 5 seems to be maybe the sweet spot. It's got the always on display. It's got the echocardiogram. It's got the heart rate sensor. It doesn't have the blood oxygen sensor of the 6. I will give it that, but I don't think that I need that product. And so I went out searching and I found one local, drove there the other day, picked it up, and boom, I am now wearing a 44 millimeter Series 5 Apple Watch.
Nice. Congratulations.
And it is way better than the Series 3. I can tell you that. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But I'm like, oh, yeah, that kind of works the way it's supposed to work. Yeah. I'm not fumbling with controls and waiting for the thing to show up. It just does its thing. And so my pick of the week is not only an affordable option to buying a brand new device, it's just a reminder that you can often find used products at various places, from Goodwill to OfferUp to Facebook Marketplace, to anything else. Why buy new stuff all the time? You can buy used items and be just as happy.
Yes, very nice. Well, congratulations. That is a good find. And yes, now that we think about it, I've had my Series 4 sitting here for a year that I've thought about. I can actually see it right now on my desk. You thought about buying it or buying it for your son or somebody else. But really, I think I'm just going to sell it to some rando because I wouldn't get the always on display. I think that is a major evolution in the Apple Watch that started with the Series 5. So to all our friends and listeners, the Series 5 or the Series 6, or, get the Series 7 if you're still going to be able to feed the kids and pay the mortgage. The Series 4 and older, they're looking pretty outdated now with the newer functions.
And I'm even going to include something that I didn't talk about, the Apple Watch SE.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
I always
basically...
forget about that one.
Yeah, it's basically a newer version of the Series 4. It still doesn't have the always-on display. It compromises it almost. It doesn't have EKG. There's just so many compromises to it. And so it's not a good product. If it were $199, go get it. But it's $279, and I paid much less than that for the Series 5, which is more capable, even though it's older. So, your mileage may vary, but that's what I got. I'm recommending, if you have an old clunky Series 3 or older, please treat yourself and get a better Series watch.
Yes. Well, my pick of the week this week is one I should have picked a long time ago, but we had a friend, Sandy, that the story she always tells is, as a kid, she wore glasses and she always had one pair of ugly glasses. So now that she is in adulthood and has some financial resources, she likes to have lots of different pairs of prescription glasses. And as those that know my family IRL, in real life, for you olds. My daughter is now wearing glasses, and we got a pair, at the iStore. They had a limited selection for kids, and they were okay. But we went to this website, like your eyeball, buy, like you buy something, direct, like direct.
I buy direct. Okay, I've got it so far.
Yes, and so we got her. If you've probably seen pictures, if you follow me on social media, rainbow frame glasses with purple transition lenses to her prescription. Now, they weren't super cheap, but they have frames that start at $15, $20, and it goes up depending on prescription and adding on the transitions and all this stuff. But she gets so many compliments on her glasses that I, being the person I am, actually made her business cards with a picture of her and her glasses with a referral code on the back, because everybody compliments. And I've had at the fireworks stand this summer, the biggest, burliest dude, he was like, I'd buy those sunglasses, or I'd buy those glasses. And she's got a pretty good sales pitch anyways. But all you have to do, because again, I am who I am, is go to ilaheath.com and it will redirect you to our referral code.
Holy cow.
I Buy Direct.
You're setting this child up for a social media future with this website and glasses referrals. Is she going to have her own YouTube channel and do reviews here soon? She did a small review before for us.
She actually has asked about when we're going to start putting videos on YouTube. So she has got the personality for it. It's me making the time for it. Anyways, if you are a prescription glass wearer, go to ilaheath.com so that you can shop I Buy Direct, and it's really affordable. Again, it's one of these, it's like mattress stores or all these disrupted industries where they just don't have to have the retail space and they can pass on the savings to you.
My son, who is a young teenage boy, the reason that's relevant, he wears glasses, and his gender and age kind of gives him the reputation for breaking and losing a lot of stuff. And I've even talked about things in the past. Well, he's always breaking his glasses. And so having a resource where I can just get glasses for cheap, then I need that.
Yes. And with the referral code, you will get $10 in credits, as will we. So, they've got it all, and they do have, sunglasses. They've got some premium brands there. But if you need some prescription glasses in your life, check out ilaheath.com.
Here I go.
Yes, you will be shopping for days and picking out your new. But yes, they are really cool, and I mean, zero complaints about the experience with them. So
yeah,
I want to make that a pick of the week and share it with all of you. And with that, I think we will wrap up this episode. We have chatted long enough, and hopefully we have helped you so that you can get out there and tech better.
That is true.
Awkward pause. I was hoping you would come with something, and I was waiting with bated breath so that I could create my segue. Wait.